Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for the Kneaded Live at 5. This week, myself, Andrew Briggs, the catering coordinator, and Chef Alexis Higgins, we're going to be making some chocolate pasta. So it's really similar to Keyshawn's previous recipe where he made from scratch, but this time we're going to be adding a little bit of cocoa powder and changing pace a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started, and Alexis is going to be working on the pasta for us. So we have some pre-prepared dough, and if you want to see how we mix the eggs, mix the flour, and everything else together, you can definitely check out our Facebook Lives from the past where we've done our pasta from scratch. But in the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and show you the recipe that we developed for that. And Alexis, if you want to get started rolling everything out. In the meantime, I will recommend that if you're going to make it, maybe practice it 1 or 2 times before you invite all your guests over and tell all your family and friends what you're going to be making. And also be careful about the recipes that you look up online because a lot of them just switch out some of the flour for cocoa powder. And because of the different ways those ingredients interact with the eggs, the water, and the oil, it might not necessarily work. And Alexis is just making a nice flour mixture that's going to go down on our counter. That way it's not just plain flour on the outside of the pasta, but it still has some of that flavor that carries through. If you could flash up the recipe one more time. So as you can see, we're using mostly flour and eggs. We have a little bit of half and half in there to help hold everything together. A little bit of powdered sugar as well to bring forth that sweetness. And then, of course, our cocoa powder for the chocolate flavor. So that's what we got going on. So if you take a screenshot right now, write that recipe down really quick. We can also see about posting it later for everyone. So we're just going to go ahead and get started on molding that pasta. In the meantime, over on my station, we're going to be working on a bechamel sauce that's going to go with the pasta. The recipe for that is right on screen right now. And for Instagram, I'll just go ahead and read it for you guys. So we're going to have 2 cups of half and half. We're going to follow that with some whole allspice and whole cloves that are going to go in there and kind of mingle with it. Once we get that flavor infused, we're going to be adding a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're just going to bring that all together and add a half cup of white chocolate. Sorry. It might be a cup of white. No, it's a half cup of white chocolate, which I forgot to grab. So I'll be back in 1 second.
And so I just started boiling the water, so the water is boiling, and right now the flour mixture is just flour, powdered sugar, and cocoa powder. And so I'm just gonna start pre-kneading it out just to get it a little flat before I put it in the pasta roller. And so it's just that flour mixture just helps make it not as sticky, and then you can just put it through the roller and it won't stick as much.
Ooh, never a dull moment at Kneaded Bakery. So I got my half cup of white chocolate right over here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. First, we're going to turn on our pan here. Bring it nice to a low heat and add our half and half. Ooh. We're just going to start heating that up, and then once that gets to a nice simmer or to a low boil, we're going to go ahead and add the cloves and the allspice next. And it's really important we want to use the whole cloves and the whole allspice because that just gives you that full flavor. And also makes it a lot easier to strain it out so that we don't have any of those chunks when we get to our final sauce. We get a nice, smooth, and even sauce. Yeah, I don't know if everyone can see that. Woo! Awesome. While that's heating up, in the meantime, we do have our meal this week, which is going to be our dry rub tri-tip with a little bit of berry dressing. And then we have our grilled asparagus on the side, our rosemary grilled asparagus, and mashed potatoes. So the mashed potatoes, I believe, are with sweet potatoes and russet potatoes. And the asparagus has some shallots and some other stuff going on. Are you all right over there, Alexis?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Do you want me to hold the pasta bag?
Probably. It's definitely. I probably should have cut it in half. It's okay. So this is actually, I think, on the lowest setting. Woo! Yeah.
You want to really have that elbow grease. Yeah. Also, it helps if you pull out your pasta dough a little bit earlier. This one's kind of cold. Just pull out. Yeah, so as we were talking about earlier, what you have to be careful with some of these recipes is this chocolate pasta dough has a tendency to crack. Mm-hmm. So I'll just pull off a little bit of the end and show you guys. And that's because, again, that flour and that cocoa powder have a different absorbency rate. So you really want to make sure that you're managing it and that you're being nice and careful with it. As you can see, it forms a pretty good pasta dough. It's just getting there can take a little bit of time. So
You can just fold it over again, which is what I'm doing, just so there's not as many cracks.
And then we'll get ready for that second pass on our highest setting probably, just to make sure that everything's going to go through the way that we expect it to. And if you want to do this at home and you have a pasta bite, you can just pull out that rolling pin, get that elbow grease going, and drop your gym membership for that one, because you definitely have the arms for it after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Also get a nice pasta bite, because as you can see, our pasta bites are getting a little bit beaten up from this. We're getting a nice pasta dough extruded out.
Looks like this little hole, nothing patching can't do.
Yep.
And you're gonna end up cutting it anyways, so it's okay if there's like a little hole. You obviously don't want a big rip down the middle, but now it's gonna get a lot easier.
Woo. Yeah, it's always those first few rotations that are a little dicey, and then once you get going, you're good to go. Unless you're, of course, rolling at home and you're just putting that elbow grease straight in. I know my rolling pin at home is made from an old lead pipe, so it's nice and heavy and solid, and it just gets the job done. But some of the smaller, like French rolling pins, may have a harder time. So we're gonna do a little bit of multitasking.
Here, I got it.
All right. We're gonna drop in the allspice and the cloves on my side.
Ooh, maybe I got it.
Our handle's getting away from us. That's another feature of the pasta bites for easy washing, but every once in a while it doesn't quite work to your favor. So I'll go ahead and switch out gloves really quick. And we'll get ready for that. And just in the pot, we're gonna do a quick stir. Woo! I don't know if anybody can see what I have going on in here, but we just have our cloves and our allspice added in. Tilt for the IG and tilt for the Facebook. Now we're just gonna get that all nice and mingled in together. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my gloves back on. And maybe we can talk a little bit about what we have coming at you guys for next week. So before I forget, for next week's meal, we do have another fun, interesting meal coming to you guys. It's gonna be barbecue chicken, a little bit of tangy barbecue chicken with our house barbecue sauce recipe, a little bit of coleslaw, and then a little bit of not overflowing milk, a little bit of crushed red potatoes. There for you guys.
This pasta machine does not like me.
Whew.
So get a little patch.
Worst case scenario, we got the knives and the cutting board on deck. But as you can see, our milk is just going to get ready to boil over there, so that tells me that it's time to go ahead and strain out all of our cloves and our allspice berries. Just bring over
And you want to make sure you're moving the pasta on the different settings so that it keeps thinning out, because you don't want super thick pasta.
And if you have to overdo, like do one setting twice, that's perfectly fine. It just takes some time. As you can see from our demonstration.
Yeah, we're getting there. This pasta is starting to like me now.
Yeah, or you can just get your family used to having thick pasta for dinner. That's also an option. So we're done with our strainer. We got all our cloves and allspice out. We're just going to add a little bit of cinnamon in. And we're going to turn our heat back on. Low simmer here. We're just going to mix that cinnamon in really quick. You just got to be careful that you get all those clumps out with your whisk, because as we said earlier, we want a nice smooth sauce. You can go as far as straining your cinnamon out, but I don't quite have the strainer for that. And besides, it gives it a nice little bit of coloration.
So how did you come up with this idea?
So chocolate pasta is actually an idea that it's from something that I learned when I was a kid growing up in Gilroy. We had a Young Chefs Academy over here on Monterey Street. And I actually went there and cooked a couple of times. And one of the things that we made was chocolate pasta. And so when Keyshawn wanted to do a chocolate-themed month for the month of February, I always remember what I learned in having the opportunity to make that chocolate pasta. And so it just came back to me. So I stole the idea, in short. That's kind of where I got the idea from. But of course, we adapted the recipe. We did a lot of the research so you at home don't have to. That way you don't have to try. I tried, this is actually my third attempt here at chocolate pasta for the live. Because again, it's just managing those absorbency rates with the flour. But as you can see, we're getting a really nice stream now. I don't know if you want to turn it like so they can see the inside there.
Pasta.
Woo! Pasta. Yeah, and again, a lot of people just use egg yolks for their pasta because it gives you that really nice yellow color and that rich flavor.
Should I go one more, or do you think it's thin enough?
I think it's thin enough to go right now. I'll make sure we leave enough time to get it all nice and boiled. I don't know if that water's going already.
Yes, it is.
All right. And I'll pull these guys off to the side. And then at the end, we have some of those really nice garnishes for finishing this whole thing.
Oh, no.
We're going for the final move, the final push to fettuccine, which, as you can see, it's a little weighted to one side. Yes. Oh. Yeah! Okay, so we got the pasta coming out. All of you at home can see it. That beautiful fettuccine.
This is my favorite part. I love making homemade pasta.
Yeah, thank you to Alexis for joining me on this endeavor, especially with the pasta dough being so rude.
Oh yeah, we got
there
fettuccine.
We go. We got fettuccine all ready to go.
And so I'm just gonna put this in water now.
We're gonna go straight to our boiling water. No delay. Yeah, we're all good to go. So that puts a little pressure on me going. We're just gonna bring that up to heat, and I'm gonna add my white chocolate, nice and gently here.
And so would you salt this water or no, because it's sweet?
That's kind of up to you. You can definitely salt the water if you'd like, especially give it that kick. There is a little bit of salt in the dough usually, but for this particular one, I didn't add any salt, just because I want to go. We have a really nice, rich, dark chocolate that brings plenty of flavor. So yeah, you can salt the water if you would like. It just helps bring out some of the flavor, but it's totally up to you. And then over here, I just have my white chocolate breaking down to the nice warm half and half. You can see the cinnamon in there. Yeah. And it's just going to come together. It'll start to be a lot more like a bechamel once we get this going and reduce. Also, when it comes to melting your chocolate, you want to be like really careful about like the way that you melt it, that you don't bring it up to heat too fast, different things like that. I'm actually going to get rid of some of the extra tools I don't need. It looks like our heat's out on the left side, so we're going to pop this open and switch over a new canister here. We're always prepared. You're going to need a bakery. We try to pride ourselves on having, our backup tools all ready to go. And we're cooking with gas now. So we're going to go ahead and get the pasta bite out of the way and rearrange a little bit just so our stations are a little bit closer so you guys can see both of us working here.
Oh,
You can put it right up there. Tools here, get that little clove out of there.
And so homemade pasta, like from scratch, how this is made, it cooks a lot faster than boxed pasta. So you just have to like watch it, and probably 7 minutes. I think you cook normal pasta for like 10 or 12. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it goes a lot faster because it's more fresh.
Yeah, you can go as short as 2 or 3 minutes sometimes on fresh pasta. And if you make your pasta last a little bit longer, you can hang it out and let it dry. So that's a lot more like boxed pasta, but it's just up to you. And then over here at the bechamel, we aren't quite getting that nice thick bechamel that we normally associate with that fine white cheese sauce. So you got a few options. Of course, you can add a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of flour, butter, make a roux. But I'm actually just going to go get some more white chocolate. So I'll be back in 1 second with a little bit more of that.
And so, like Andrew said, it's going to take like 2 minutes because it is fresh. And you have drying racks. You can just get a hanger. What I did is I made a lot of pasta, and this is a story my family will tell. Our whole entire kitchen, all of the chairs, like everything was full. Like every square inch of our kitchen had a strip of pasta because I made so much pasta and I didn't realize how much I made. We were trying to let it dry, so just like be prepared if you overdo. Like say it's asking for like 7 cups of flour, just know you're gonna have a lot of pasta.
Yeah, just know that you might want to cook it just a little bit. And then Alexis, how's that pasta coming along over there?
It's honestly probably done.
Fantastic.
I think it might be done. Yeah.
If you want to go ahead and strain that, we got a bowl for you right over here. You slide over.
Chocolate pasta.
Woo!
Oh no.
Yeah, be careful when you're pulling it out of boiling water, as you can see it likes to have a mind of its own.
Oh, it smells like chocolate. I had a chocolate bagel this morning, and this is what it smelled like.
Beautiful. And over on my side, we're just getting that nice and incorporated in this bechamel. It's going to come out a little bit thinner than a regular bechamel. And again, you can cornstarch, add a little white chocolate, different things like that come together. But it is going to be like a nice deep color from that cinnamon. We're really going for more of like a chai flavor, which is why we have the cloves, the allspice. You can even use a little bit of cardamom. Yeah, I see we have some comments. Any questions over there?
Ooh, pasta's ready.
Looking delicious. When can they order?
Well, you might not be able to order this anytime soon, but we'll see what I can do to convince Keyshawn to maybe let me come up with a recipe for the weekly meals. But yeah, so we got our bechamel going and our pasta. I'm just going to add a little bit. Alexis, I don't know if you want to stir it with the tongs right there.
And we tried to like a little twisty, just to like not completely break the pasta, but to get it all the sauce.
Yeah, this is like a really thin bechamel because we're really letting the pasta be the star of the show here. So I'm just going to give it that little bit of extra flavor. So we got a plate. Ooh.
Sure smells good.
And man, it smells fantastic. So if you want to go ahead and make this at home, tag Kneaded Bakery. Use that recipe that we threw you up on screen. DM us if you have any questions. Give us a call. We can definitely post that recipe if you guys would be interested. And we're just going to cut up a few strawberries for the garnish. I think Alexis is getting ready to plate here.
Yeah, I wasn't twisting how I wanted it to twist though, so.
Yeah, we're trying to get that really clean twist
Mm-hmm.
on the fettuccine. It can be a little bit more difficult with the fresh pasta. It seizes up a little bit like that. Whew. We got some nice long noodles.
That didn't work at all.
We'll put it all in the center here. And then we got some.
More?
Yeah. So we can pile it high. You can see that twist technique. It takes a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're doing it for the first time. Some people use grill forks, of course, tongs, regular dinner forks. You're just trying to get that nice, like, vertical column that Alexis is going for.
Trying to go for.
Yeah. And then it comes down to topping. So if you really want to, impress your friends, bring them out, show them something new. Whole nutmeg, beautiful option. You just find this at your local grocery store. Just be ready to part with not an arm and a leg, but maybe a finger or two. Because I think it's like 9 to 10 per container. So yeah, you're gonna be paying a little bit to impress your friends.
Should I do the rest of it?
Sure, why not? Let's just go high. And then we'll grate a little fresh nutmeg, a little bit of white chocolate, maybe cap it off with some strawberries.
It's not the best plating, but.
But hey, sometimes it's not about the plating, it's about the meal, shared among friends, and the fact that hopefully you made it yourself with Kneaded's recipe. We're just going to touch up the edges here a little bit.
I feel like a 3-2-1 right now. That's what I feel like this is. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think we're all good, Alexis, with those guys.
That's good.
So we got our really nice pasta noodles here. With fresh pasta, and again, we talked about the cracking. You might have a few that just don't quite make it. That's okay. Now we're going to hit it with a little bit of fresh nutmeg. just for that little bit of finishing flavor. Woo!
Oh yeah.
And you can tell all your friends that now you're a culinary professional. And then we're gonna do a little bit of white chocolate. Now, Alexis, I don't know if you want to place some of these strawberries just around the plate. Here we go.
You can smell the nutmeg. It smells really good. Everything just smells good.
And this is like the Parmesan on top, right? And as you can see, our pasta's still warm, so it's really nicely.
Wow.
Woo!
If I ever have a restaurant, this is gonna be on the menu.
When Alexis has a restaurant, this will be on the menu. You heard it here first. Yeah, sorry, I'm just like, I love Parmesan, I love white chocolate, so I'm really letting it go. Plus, with the heat, you can't even tell.
No, you cannot. It's melting fast.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's everything for this week. Thank you for joining us, everyone, as we made our chocolate pasta here. Let me get a nice close-up for the camera. Woo! Alexis, do you want to try this on camera, or do you want to wait till after? 'Cause I don't know. If it's bad, I don't know if you guys want to see us try it, but it should be pretty good.
We can try it on camera.
All right, I'm gonna go
Okay.
grab some forks really quick, just because why not?
And I was like, just plate it how you want to plate it. And obviously, my twirl did not work, but it's okay.
Play it how you want to play it. And before you have your dinner party, definitely do a test run for 2 or 3 or 4. I'm just gonna go for these.
Well, the comments are saying that it looks very yummy.
Thank you, comments. You're so supportive of us. The twist.
Yeah. That's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It tastes really good.
It's not bad at all. Yeah. You have a little bit of the nutmeg, the sweetness from the sauce. The cinnamon helps tie everything together, and it's just a little bit of a hint of chocolate. It's nothing like too overwhelming.
It's not super strong.
Yeah, if you can see the first few tries though, they look like chocolate moon sand, and it was not coming together. It looked like the graham cracker crust on like a cheesecake. So yeah, definitely go ahead and try this at home. And thank you for joining us. And Alexis, your socials, those are probably not right on screen. Alexis Kitchen, Instagram, Facebook. We also have Kneaded, www.kneaded.com. You're joining us now on Facebook and Instagram. Hi, everyone. I think we also have a TikTok that we're working on creating some content for. So get ready for Kneaded TikTok, and hopefully we'll have some videos of Keish and Chef having a good time. And thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you next week.